Well, today we're walking toward the House of Assembly, and one of the reasons we're here is to talk about the whole question of the rights of members of Parliament and what is the role of the Speaker in protecting those rights. Now, sometimes you'll hear members of Parliament get up and say, "Mr. Speaker, my privilege has been breached." It's a bit of a misnomer because there are actually only two privileges of the House of Assembly for members. One is the right of access, which you saw me exercise as we go to the House of Assembly, and the other is the right of free speech. So today I want to spend some time talking about the right of free speech and the Speaker's role in protecting that right of all members to free speech in the House of Assembly.
Getting rid of exchange control, Mr. Speaker.
Withdraw that statement. Take a seat for a moment, please. Take a seat for a moment, please.
We're in the lobby or the foyer of the House of Assembly. This is the freest forum in the country. And it is here where the PLP has always championed free speech. One of our great past members was the late Sir Milo Butler, the former Governor General. And when he was a member of the House of Assembly, they tried to stop him from speaking freely. So I just stopped briefly here because this was the bathroom. They locked the door in order to stop him from coming into the House to speak on behalf of his people. And that's how much of a champion he was for free speech. And free speech remains an important value for the PLP. Where I'm standing now is at the bar of the House of Assembly. It's the barrier which separates the public on the one hand from members of Parliament. And once you cross the bar, as a member of the House, you are inside the fullest, freest forum and the highest expression of free speech in the country. There is a particular place, of course, reserved in the public gallery for the press. And the press is sometimes called the Fourth Estate. They sit here because they are the ones who report what members of Parliament say. I used to be a reporter before I became an attorney, and I learned early on that this is the freest forum, that in fact whatever you say here can be printed without any criminal consequences, that you can say anything as a member of Parliament and it doesn't have any civil action that can be brought against you as a result of what you say. So it is a free forum, and it's very important, therefore, for the Speaker of the House of Assembly to protect the rights not only of the majority to free speech, but to the minority, Progressive Liberal Party, to free speech. And so we want to encourage this value of free speech and for people to understand how important that value is to fighting for and on behalf of the Bahamian people.
I ask you, Mr. Speaker, to have him withdraw it.
I would ask you to withdraw the statement.
I withdrew that, Mr. Speaker.
What all have you withdrawn?
Devaluation of the Bahamian dollar, Mr. Speaker.
And the other portion?
No, Mr. Speaker. That's in their manifesto.
Okay, this is where I sit in the House of Assembly. I'm a member of the Progressive Liberal Party. I'm the opposition spokesman on foreign affairs, foreign trade, and the public service. And so I would tend to take the lead on matters involving those various things in this House. But I also get up to speak on behalf of the people who live in the Fox Hill constituency because they're my constituents. And I would expect that when I get up that my right to free speech is going to be protected by the person who sits in the chair, who's known as the Speaker. I don't expect to be stopped all the time by annoying little things like, are you being relevant? Because relevance is a matter of judgment and degree. I don't expect to be interrupted all the time by points of order. I don't expect to be stopped by the Speaker. I don't expect to be threatened to be expelled out of the House of Assembly. All of this tends to give the impression to the public that the government does not want to hear from the minority. And a Speaker must be very careful in his judgments or her judgments and deliberations to make sure that that impression is not given to the country. So the only way, I believe, to protect the right of free speech, which every member of parliament has, is to speak freely. And so every time I get up, I speak as freely as I wish on behalf of the people of the Fox Hill constituency and Bahamians generally. What I'd like you to do then is to think about all of these values that we've talked about in this short report, and think about the actions of the speaker as you think about these values, and make a judgment as to whether or not the right of free speech is being protected by the speaker that we have in the chair today. I'd like to hear more from you, and get in touch with me. Let me know what ideas you have about the conduct of the speaker, and if it doesn't match up to those values, what we ought to do and what we can do.